Hello and welcome. It's our first meditation together since the beginning of the new year. And I'm sure many of you have been considering what you want to infuse your life with, what you want to put your focus on, and in general, set some resolves or let things go as we start each day, each morning anew, and this whole entire year anew. And I don't know about you, but for me, I've been feeling a lot of grief as I look back on the year before before and look at the ways in which I need to let some things go. I've been let go from things and people and places and habits, and I need to also proactively let some of my behaviors go, to look at it in a new light and say, does this serve me or am I betraying myself? Does this playing small serve me? Does this criticism of myself serve me? Does being in a relationship where I work harder than the person I'm in a relationship with serve me? And I don't know if you're letting things go, but I know that for me, this last year was difficult. And it created a lot of grief. I find myself bursting into tears sometimes when I look at the challenges and the ways I betrayed myself and the ways in which I've been misled. And sometimes we have to let things go. And I like to consider I'd like to acknowledge, let's just say, the difficulties that many of us have faced and that we are moving through. And I know you're strong and I know you've got a spiritual practice because you're here. So the word that I infuse my new year with, and hopefully every new moment, is called gentle strength. It's for me, it's different than just being strong physically or emotionally, but there's an element of many of us have of being powerful, but yet playing small because we're a little afraid of it. And so for me, that's what I wanted to share with you. And I asked before we started recording what some other people had put their attention on this year and or will hope to. And we have words like listen, commitment, clarity, flow. What else? Connection, action, authenticity, love, liberation, freedom, inner strength, courage, integrity. As I read these, you can adopt any or all of these if you like, and just let them resonate in your awareness as you start a new project, a conversation, your morning, or even before you go to bed, and reflect on how your resolve or your intention has permeated your day, if it has at all, and maybe making plans to uh, shine forth the next day as well. Imagination, peace, joy, grateful and graceful, and accepting. Wow. So if you are listening to this as a recording, I invite you to put whatever word you're focused on in the chat. And recognizing that there's obviously hope for the future, and this moment is the future. And then there's, of course, this one. So today's meditation that we'll do in a few minutes after I finish talking is going to be just welcoming each moment anew, welcoming each moment anew. And then we're going to wrap the meditation up with a prayer called the Soul Awakening Prayer. Some of you may have heard a bit of it by James O'Day. And it's a prayer with 6 lines. And each line we will be silently repeating. In the world of meditation, this practice is called a sutra practice, Sutra, a sutra practice. And you may have heard the word sutras before in terms of like the Yoga Sutras or the Heart Sutra. The word sutra comes from the root word suture or stitch. So we're going to stitch some more intentions besides the ones you put in the chat here into that deep silence that we can and do often access in the meditation. So I'm glad you're here. My name's Sarah McLean. I'm sitting here in sunny, always sunny Santa Barbara, And I welcome you. I know we have people from all over the United States and Canada, Mexico, Europe, and all over the world. So if you're listening, we're welcoming you here. In the world of meditation and Zen Buddhism, which I practiced for many years, there are what are called the three jewels of practice. The three jewels that help to support our practice. And I know many of you have heard me talk about them, but you're an important part of this. You are a jewel. And I love thinking about that and considering what that means. But there are three real aspects of your practice. The first is your actual meditation, getting in touch with that which is looking through your eyes, that presence that is here, regardless if it's 2025 or 2024 or 2026, there's an aspect of you that's ever present. And that aspect of you is what we touch base with, we infuse our world with, is getting to know who we really are, what's called our true nature, through the practice of meditation. So that's called, in the world of the three jewels in Zen Buddhism, that's called your Buddha nature, this presence, this wise presence of you. The second jewel is what we have here, which is called the Sangha, a community of practice. And you may be noticing, if you've been joining us for a while or if you've been meditating for a while, that your Sangha is slightly maybe different than your natural or your friends or your family. Sometimes they overlap and are subsets of each other. But quite often, the community of practice is a community of people just like you're looking at the screen here, people you might not know, but we're all kind of facing the world with this knowingness that there's more to life than the senses might suggest, that there is something greater than each of us holding us here, and even would say blessing us with this beautiful life. So this Sangha is this community of practice. So there's your Buddha nature, there's the community of practice, and then the third jewel is where you get your wisdom, where you get your support for your practice, whether it's a prayer, whether it's a poem, whether it's the Bible or the Upanishads or the Yoga Sutras or the Tao Te Ching. And I often like to turn to mystics and mystic poetry as a way to feel like there are people on my team and I'm on their team, and we're looking for the ways in which we can stay established in the magic of waking up to each moment with a fresh awareness. So I was looking online this morning. There was Saint Benedict who coined the phrase, "We always begin again," emphasizing what struggles or grief happen to be coloring your life, that this moment is anew. And you may be bringing some impressions from the past into this moment, but you can always start anew. And the one way I like to remember that is through a fresh inhale and an easy exhale, that each inhale is new and each exhale is a letting go of what necessarily doesn't necessarily, excuse me for that, serve us. Another quote is from T.S. Eliot, who wrote the Four Quartets and Little Gidding, and he said, "Every moment is a fresh beginning." So if we feel stuck, let's remember this. Let's make this real. I did once put together a whole list of all the conversations that we use, the idioms we use when we refer to time, like this is the right time, it's time for lunch, time to meditate, we're having a good time, it's been a bad time, all those words we use with time, and asking the question, what is it? It's a construct that we make up. And instead of us traveling through time, I'd like to suggest that time is traveling through you. I would like to suggest that this moment is time expressing itself. This moment right here is time expressing itself. So this meditation today, and some of you are very familiar with what I do with meditation, but there are these three cornerstones or three go-to mindfulness meditations that we often use, and they're called mindfulness meditations. to help establish this present moment awareness, to have it infused in your awareness so you recognize this newness, this moment. It's brand new. You've never been here before. And mindfulness is a way of training your attention to be right here and gain the intimacy with your life. What often happens is we're focused on the past, what we're letting go of, what happened before, what's our story. And obviously, in the beginning of a year, we're focused on the future. What do we hope will happen? What are our intentions? And yet the magic occurs in this present moment when we're paying attention. The aha moments, the synchronicities, the signs and wonders, they're all going to arrive in this moment to point you into a way or into a direction that supports you, where you find your necessary toolkit of wonder and awe and curiosity and inspiration and newness. So I'd like to start today with a awareness practice, a breath awareness practice. Now, the three mindfulness generally are walking meditations, breath awareness meditation, and body awareness appreciation and meditation. So today we're going to start with a breath awareness and a sensory awareness, and then we'll move into the sutra practice that I was talking about. A sutra being a stitch, where you stitch some intentions into the stillness that's created from your practice. Now, if you're new to meditation, I can assure you that you can do this. You don't have to have superpowers of attention. You don't have to have a brilliant mind today if you're just waking up. It's simply you really just need the willingness to pay attention and to bring your attention back to this moment again and again and again. So we're going to do about a 20-minute meditation in all. And I'd like to remind or tell some of you who maybe haven't been here before something that's helped me, these 5 essentials. One, don't try too hard. Don't try to have an experience you're not having. Don't try to make something happen that's not happening. Simply be in the practice. Two, if you notice your attention's wandered off into the past or into the future, into somebody else's business, bring your attention right back here into this moment, into the practice, into this moment where your attention is resting. And third, be very nice to yourself as we do this practice. Do not spend 1 minute, one slight bandwidth of your attention criticizing yourself or wishing things were different. Simply be with what is happening here. Be very kind to your sweet self, because here you are doing this, which many people could be doing something, are doing something else, and you are doing something that's not only nourishing for your nervous system, but you are sending a ripple effect, whether you know it or not, throughout the world. Your frequency, and we're hearing a lot about this now, your frequency is informing the world around you. And I know this because when I start meditating, my cats, they kind of argue to who's going to be sitting on my lap, and they don't usually do that unless my mind settles down, my body settles down, and there's brainwave coherence happening, which it happens for you too. So be kind to yourself. Thoughts are okay. Bring your attention right here. Do not try to have a certain experience. And then let's begin everything with a beginner's mind. Even if you've been meditating for years and you've been here many, many times, just put on your beginner's mind and let's start this moment anew. And lastly, let's do the whole meditation. I know you may have thoughts that feel like urgent commands, like check your email, or this isn't working, I'll do it tomorrow, or I better let the dog in, or maybe I need to stretch, or maybe I'll journal. And all those thoughts are going, hey, stop meditating, but don't. If it's not an emergency, stick with the practice, because this is what trains your attention and helps you to infuse your nervous system into this nourishing, deep silence from which everything arises. So we're going to begin to meditate, and I'll be keeping track of the time. We'll be meditating for a while. I'll guide us into the practice, and there'll be some moments of stillness. And then at the very end, we're going to do a sutra practice. And just for a visual, imagine a big, still pond. and you toss a pebble into the pond, and it creates these beautiful ripple effects. And that's what a sutra practice is in my world. In the meditation world, is you're going to be tossing these intentions into the stillness of this pond, the stillness of your awareness, and let it ripple out. Okay, so I'm going to invite you to sit back, relax, ideally sitting upright in a dignified posture. But if you want to lie down, I know some people have a lot of back pain. You can do that as well. Also, your hands can be wherever is most comfortable for you, whether they're face up, face down, in a mudra like this, whether you're gently clasping them together in your lap, however feels comfortable for you. There's no shoulds in meditation, other than you should do it. Um, and lastly, if you need to move at any time or open your eyes or look around, feel free to do that because sometimes we release some stress in meditation and it can cause some emotions or some physical sensations. So I invite people to, open your eyes to just check it out and then come back to your practice. Okay? So I am going to be available for questions afterwards. So hold those if you need to. And I'm excited to be meditating with you. So let's close the eyes, or if you're more comfortable with it, you simply gaze softly to the ground or on towards your hands or your knees. And then as you start to turn your attention inward, you may notice that your breath naturally begins to deepen. So I'm going to invite you to deepen your breath as you breathe, if you can, in and out through your nose. 3 long, slow, deep breaths. At your own pace, filling your lungs with fresh air and exhaling anything you want to let go of. Long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. This sends a signal to your body that it's okay to relax. It even activates that rest and digest response. And letting your breath return to its natural rhythm and depth. Finding the stillness where you're seated right now and making some micro adjustments to be as comfortable as you can. You may begin to notice that you're a little more aware of the sounds in the environment. So take a moment now and welcome everything you hear. The natural sounds, the primordial sounds of wind in the trees or your tummy rumbling, the man-made sounds, sounds far in the distance, sounds close by. You don't need to know the source of the sounds. Let's simply begin to listen to the sound of the sounds, letting go of the need to identify the source or decide whether you like the sound or not. The senses always bring us to the present moment. Sounds are happening now, whether it's the sound of my voice or the bird song or the hum of your computer. The senses also bring us into this moment, especially when we focus on sensation. So notice now the sensation of sitting right here. The sensation of the clothing draped on your skin. Or the sensations of your feet inside your shoes or resting on the ground. Notice the sensations of simply being right here. Noticing where your hands are. Noticing your eyes, your nose, the sensations in and around your ears. Sensations in and around your mouth. Noticing your neck. Noticing your chest. The movement and the stillness of the lungs filling and emptying. Notice your shoulders. Invite them to soften and move away from your ears. Tune into your back. Again, letting go of labels, preferences, ideas, or stories. And simply tune into the sensations that are present. Tuning in now to your diaphragm. Seeing if you can loosen it just a little bit as you soften your belly. Soften your hips as you feel the support underneath your rear. And tuning into your legs. Letting go of any tension or bracing that could be unconscious. Letting go of any tension in your toes. And opening your awareness to include your entire body. Here you are in space and time. And here we all are, practicing with you. Imagine, if you like, that we're sitting in a circle, a big circle with our Sangha. Each one of us hoping for more personal peace, more peace on this planet. And as you sit here, begin now to tune into the breath. Letting your breath be as it is, though it might get faster or slower, or deeper or shallower. Let your breath charm your attention. Let it be the anchor for your attention as we move into this meditation. There's no need to control or regulate your breath. Simply let it be here as you become curious as to the sensations of coolness and warmth, movement and stillness, and the journey that the breath travels from your nostrils deep into your lungs and back again. Paying attention to the breath without having to do anything is a beautiful way to invite the relaxation response. And there's a meditation with the same name, which will begin now. As you exhale, you can silently say the word one. Each exhale using the mantra one. Inhale, exhale one. There's no particular feeling you should be having other than the one you're having. There's no insight you need to have. We're simply here breathing, keeping the mind on the breath, keeping the body soft. We'll practice this for a little while. I'll keep track of the time. Now you can stop repeating the word one. Simply rest in awareness. Rest in the stillness. And as we begin the sutra practice, you can repeat each phrase silently, leaving a few moments between each repetition. The first line of this prayer is soul awakening. Imagine this line is like a pebble into a still pond. Soul awakening. Soul awakening. Soul awakening. You can draw your attention now to the center of your chest as you silently repeat the next line 4 times. Heart opening. Light shining. Love flowing. Wounds dissolving. Peace radiating. And you can use your own intention for the new year. For instance, gentle strength, flourishing. Whatever your word was, flourishing. And we'll do the sutra practice one more time as you turn these prayers into blessings, either for yourself or someone that you know needs them. And you'll silently repeat each one. Soul awakening, heart opening, light shining, love flowing. Wounds dissolving, peace radiating, allowing this prayer for peace to be felt around the world as you send it to who you care about, who you know needs peace to radiate in their community, in their life. Peace radiating, allowing this prayer to reach places that you've never traveled, where you know it's much needed, as well as places that you travel to often and people you spend time with. May peace radiate. And turning your attention now to the subtle sensations of your peaceful breath, resting right here as our meditation comes to an end. It's always important to come out of meditation slowly, so there's no rush to open your eyes. As you sit, as love is flowing and wounds are dissolving and peace is radiating, you might invite some deeper breaths through your nose. Get a sense of a soul awakening, your heart opening, and your light shining as you begin to slowly invite some movement into the body, deeper breaths into your lungs. And perhaps you can make a commitment to yourself to treat each moment with curiosity, with a beginner's mind, without resistance, with your big open heart. You can open your eyes first with a downward gaze. When you feel like opening your eyes all the way, do that, but there's never a rush. This integration period is sublime and nourishing as you bring the benefits of your meditation into your daily activity. And before you leave this circle, I invite you to honor those of us that have been practicing with you. I see your heart opening and your light shining and your love flowing and your wounds dissolving and your soul awakening and your peace radiating. So thank you for practicing with us today. Those are the lines from a prayer by James O'Day, which I will put in the notes for those of you who are curious. You can deepen your breath. You can take your time. If I'm at home alone meditating, I know people are meditating around the world with me, but I often spend a little time after meditation reading something inspirational or journaling an aha moment. Not that they're frequent, but I invite you to do the same, as bookend your meditations at home with something special, listening to a beautiful song, reading some beautiful poetry, or writing a note to a friend. It's a great time to do it. Thank you for meditating with me today and with all of us, and Happy New Year. I'm going to stop the recording now.